been a long road, but we're now finally Avengers.
Yeah, it feels pretty amazing. You know, the fact that this started 7 years ago when somebody asked us, listen, at Marvel, they asked us, hey, can you make the movies yourselves? You know, they want to get more profits, we want to have more stake in these movies. X-Men had done really well, the Spidey films had done really well, and we said yes, and the first film was Iron Man. And during that film we realized we don't just have contractually the rights to do the individual Iron Man characters. Had Iron Man been done at another studio, that would have been the case. We're Marvel. We own all the characters. So we had the opportunity to start to weave it together, which is why we had Sam Jackson, who was so nice to come and work for us for 2 hours on a Saturday, walk in at the very end of Iron Man and tell Tony Stark, you're part of a bigger universe, you just don't know it yet. And now, frankly, where all these cool ideas, it's basically 5 of us in a room at Marvel Studios saying, wouldn't it be cool if we released all these movies individually and then put them all together in a big Avengers movie? And now we're here with thousands of people about to see it. It's pretty overwhelming.
Because of course, I mean, you're talking about the sort of the rights and everything, but presently there are rights scattered throughout Hollywood. I mean, Fox have...
That's right, that's right.
Sony, Spider-Man,
yep.
Fantastic Four,
yep.
all of that. So is there any move on your part to start bringing some of those back home? Or?
No, I mean, the truth is the contracts are all very specific, and you know, if there's ever a time for them to revert, they will, but right now they're safely at those other studios. And the truth is, look at those characters on that board, look at the characters in this movie, and there are a lot more Avengers where that came from. So certainly we think we have you know, almost 8,000 characters in the Marvel library, maybe more, depending on who you ask. And not all of them would make a movie, of course, but a lot of them will.
So let's get specific and very, very geeky.
Oh, yes.
There are 2 particular Avengers who I believe that Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch, who I believe are Fox owned because they're X-Men type mutants.
They are. It's a little complicated. But if they want to use them in the X-Men movie, they could. If we want to use them in Avengers movie, we could.
And there are a few characters like that where it's sort of a grey area and...
Not very many. Not very many. They're unique, and the Skrulls, which I've talked about before, have a little bit of that too. Mainly, though, it's very cut and dry.
Is that partly why it was Chitauri rather than Skrulls, or was that keeping with the ultimate continuity?
That's why we chose that name, but the truth is, Joss knew he had a lot of characters to deal with, a lot of story going on. The last thing we needed was shapeshifters and getting into that end of the world. So it was never the intention to have them be shapeshifters or Skrulls.
Okay, and I mean, I'm sorry for taking a lot of your time,
Nobody asked me these geeky questions. It's good.
It's perfect. It gives me a chance.
HeyUGuys gets it done.
It's I'm a fan. I apologise, but well, I don't apologise actually. I take the apology back. It's marvellous. But I mean, getting into that sort of obviously next up, we've got Iron Man 3, we've got Thor 2, Captain America 2, which by the way, present day set or
primarily present day, yes.
But with a few flashbacks?
Potentially. Potentially.
Do we have Joe Johnston's replacement anywhere along the line yet?
No, not yet. Not yet.
So I hear Gary Ross is free at the moment.
I should call him. I didn't even think of that. Thank you.
Anyway, I'm curious where this is going to go next. I mean, particularly sort of the things that we've not, you know, there are various projects that I know you've got sort of lined up but you haven't announced. And there's obviously a script for Ant-Man that has been finished for a damn long time.
Long time. Well, you know what? The truth of the matter is, it's as close as it's ever been. And Edgar, I think, is getting excited to get behind the camera again and start some advanced prep work for Ant-Man.
Okay, and do you know when that might begin proper?
We are going to take some forward steps in a few months that will bring it closer than ever. In terms of release date, I don't know.
Okay, and I mean, obviously, Joss, presumably, if there is a sequel to Avengers, I suspect there might be, you'd go back to Joss for potentially directing. So now would he have a hand in helping to cast things like Ant-Man?
I would say in the case of Ant-Man, probably not. That's really the Edgar Wright show. But, you know, we really like all of the individual movies are handled by those directors, right? We want the Alan Taylor doing the next Thor film, Shane Black doing the next Iron Man film. They are, you know, in charge of those films. The great thing about Joss is he was able to take those characters and do some amazing things with them in this one. Mark Ruffalo, of course, he brought to the table and made his own. I suspect if we do another one together, there'll be a few new ones, new characters seeded into the mix as well.
Okay, well, thank you very much,
Thanks
Kevin.
very much. Appreciate it.
Cheers.